call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Cody, would you do a roll call of the board, please?
Supervisor Monkey.
I am here.
Treasurer Rogers. Here. Trustee Lay.
Here.
Trustee Olber.
Hello.
Clerk Cody here. Trustee Lannon and Trustee Thering are excused.
Both excused. We have a very light agenda this evening. I'm happy to entertain any motions.
Move to approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion by Olver, support by Rogers. Why wasn't that coming out? Let me try that again. Motion by Olver, support by Rogers. Wow, sorry about that. I told you I was tired today. Any discussion on the approval of the agenda as presented? See none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved unanimously. We do have a presentation this evening, and I'm excited. I got to make a comment to one of the members who's a long-serving member of the Veterans Library on behalf of the Township. And I missed last year's presentation, so I watched it remotely, but I'm really happy to be here tonight for it. Mr. Streeldryer, do you have anything you would like to add?
Well, I'll just introduce our trustees. The long-term member, Miss Ruth Helwig, is with us tonight. And our newest member that was appointed within the last year or so, Mackenzie Guza. And if you'd like to come up to the podium.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So as Mark stated, I'm Mackenzie Guza. I am the newest member on the library board. So thank you for that opportunity. Just wanted to give a little bit of an update. In July, the board met, and the big ticket item that we were discussing is that we are redoing the annex. And so at the July meeting, the architects had presented 3 different annex designs, and throughout that process, the library staff were given a chance to look at the designs and give their feedback about those designs. And then after the board was able to review those and looking at the architect's design and the feedback from the staff, we ended up voting on a design. And the choice that was prioritized was the one that gave the best opportunity for considering the workflow of the staff, but also providing a clear separation between the staff operations and the public operations to use for patrons. It really just, the design is very helpful for both patrons and workers. Making sure also all the activities that go on, it just, the flow is a lot better. And we did pass a budget with a cap of 4.2 million. And the board does feel really confident with that budget due to really a recent audit report that was a really great report, high standards. And we do have a group that's working on some fundraising. So we're in the early stages of fundraising because we also want to be very responsible stewards. And so we don't really have a ton of information yet because that is in the early stages. We're also seeking grant opportunities to make sure that we're maximizing the money that's out there, right? And then we're also still working on a timeline. So we don't necessarily have a specific timeline right now, but that is the next step for us in logistics and what that will look like. Did I miss anything so far? No? Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Mackenzie got to tell you the most exciting thing, which is the renovation project, which has been a long time. We've been talking about it for over a year, and the budget kept coming in high, and we finally had to scale it back, and so, but we're excited to move forward. So I get to tell you about just the mundane, routine kind of stuff. I know I mentioned this last time, but just kind of a reminder that in addition to the books and the audiobooks and the movies and all of those things, there's the Library of Things. Some of the things in the Library of Things are a metronome, stud finders, electricity monitors, a GoPro, bird watching kits, which was a collaboration with the local Audubon Club and the Friends of the Library. And then the Roku sticks, which is great because you don't, if you see an advertisement for a particular show that's on a streaming service you don't have, you can borrow the Roku stick, have a binge watching session at your house, and then return it, and you're good to go. So those are things. The library's been doing a lot in the last few years with upping their game with partnerships. They've done partnerships in the community for a long time, but they've been trying to do more. You've been to the farmers market, seeing that they participate with the Cook the Kit, which is an opportunity to highlight something that's in season and provide recipes that go with it and get people to make use of the farmers market resources. They also have been doing a cooking demonstrations in coordination with the GI Tech Center, which have been fun, and the director of the cooking program at the Tech Center comes in, does a little demonstration, talks a little bit about it, has her students have an opportunity to engage with members of the community and highlight the programs that they're doing there. They always partner in January with Parks and Rec and 104.3 on the Circus. And then the Friends of the Library has been having the virtual author talks that the library offers for everybody to do. Recently, and I missed it because we were out of town, was Mestival. So everybody had any kids that you took to Mestival? So it's an opportunity. It's over at, I believe it was Sunnyside Park. You bring your kids and just make a mess. So it's like paints and, water and just fun bubbles.
We call that Tuesday at my house.
Yeah, just fun stuff for kids to have, a good time. So they did that with Parks and Rec and the Friends of the Library and some other groups. They are planning in October, as far as I know, on October 11th, a cemetery walk. They've done this before where they identify prominent members of the community who are obviously deceased, and then they get people who are willing to give that life story, dress in period costume and give the life story of that person. So watch for news on that. And then they partnered with Zeboing for that the library day at Zeboing. And that's just a sample. There's lots of other things. And if you've been to Island Park and saw the story walk that they worked with Dominic Thrasher and the Friends of the Library to do the new story walk for Dominic's book, which is amazing if you haven't seen it. And I just love how they took and made it so that anybody could participate. Like at the end of a storyboard, it'll say something like, look at a tree, or say hello, or things that any child of any age or any adult could engage in, and made it very accessible to everybody. A plug for the Friends of the Library book sale. That's coming up September 8th through 12th. It's very early this year, but that's coming up. So lots of great things that the library is doing. At the same time, we are looking at, in the broader library community, lots of things are going out that aren't quite so much fun and quite so great. There are lots of court battles going on related to banning books and to constraining libraries. Some states, they are actually threatening libraries with lawsuits and librarians, threatening to jail librarians. So lots of different things are going on that the American Library Association is trying to be on the forefront for. Another thing we really need to keep an eye on is the Executive Order 14238, which is the administration's attempt to eliminate the Institute for Museums and Library Studies, or IMLS, because that's federal money that comes into the state that funds our the NELCAP program, which is the cooperative between the different libraries where they share materials, which allows libraries to purchase fewer things because they can buy them from other libraries, and to collaborate with each other in a more fiscally acceptable way. So that's out there at the moment. That American Library Association has been able to keep IMLS intact, but there are threats against it again. So that will have impacts. And really for smaller libraries too that rely more on that federal money than we do. So we're a little more insulated as a district library. Also coming up is Banned Books Week is coming up in October. And you probably have heard that, but just to give you a couple of titles that have been on people's books lists to ban: To Kill a Mockingbird, Catcher in the Rye, Grapes of Wrath, Fahrenheit 451, The Color Purple, The Handmaid's Tale, and Wicked, as in the Wicked that we have now seen into a play and a movie. So those are all some of the those are just a handful of titles that people have attempted to make inaccessible to library users. And the list there's hundreds of books on the list. So lots of good things going on, lots of collaborations going on, lots of great, good staff in our local library, but we are still aware of the broader picture of things that the American Library Association is having to deal with and that the broader library community is having to address, and even in other parts of our state, not necessarily here in our community, but across the country and in our state. So do you have any questions for us?
Having been at the library, where is the annex going to be located?
It's the annex. We're just going to gut and refurbish the old post office is the annex.
Okay.
So we're not going to tear it down or anything. That was our original hope.
Okay.
But we're just going to gut it and redo it.
And the book sale, will you be selling new books or books from the library?
It's a combination. The book sale is whatever gets donated to the Friends of the Library. So it's technically the sale is run by the Friends of the Library, which is a 501c3. And we fundraise money, because I'm also part of the Friends, but the Friends fundraise money to help pay for the author talks or to help bring in performers for different events or to buy things that aren't in the library budget. The coffee cart for the public is paid for by the Friends, not taxpayers' money. So it's whatever books are donated. Sometimes they are like pristine, somebody who loves books read it once and they donate it and you can hardly tell it's been used. Other things come in are much loved, and and some things, well, anyway. But yes, it's a mix.
Okay. And the banned book week, what happens that week?
Typically, libraries will do displays. They try to educate the public on what books have been under attack over the years. Try to make sure that the public understands that what happens when people attempt to ban books, and that libraries are in the fight to try to keep books from being banned.
So it's a public awareness kind of.
It's a kind of a public awareness
Okay.
that usually is spearheaded from the American Library Association
Certainly.
on down. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't have questions, but a couple of comments of the, I guess I'll call it the band wish list that you went through. The first 4 books you mentioned, I read in school as part of my English curriculum. And I enjoyed all 4 of those. And then I read several of the other ones you mentioned, but on my own. I just want to say thank you to you. You served a long time on the library and always grateful. And Lynn retired from this. And I got a chance to speak to Mackenzie. It must have been January.
Yes, that was you and I. Yes, sir.
Yes. And I loved your energy, and it's very apparent this evening. And if I remember correctly, you're a school teacher?
I am a special educator, yes.
Yes. So thank you for serving and jumping in, and I hope you're having fun with it.
I absolutely am. I'm learning a lot from Ruth, who is a wealth of knowledge. Absolutely.
I've been around libraries a few years, so.
You're a great advocate, and I'm learning from you, so I'm thankful to be serving on the board.
And every time you're here, I learn more about the library and what it does things I didn't know about, unaware of. So very grateful. Anything, board?
Thank you for having us and for allowing us to give you a presentation. And we're supposed to have been somewhere else 15 minutes ago, so
Okay.
we're taking off.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, too. Thank you.
They just reminded me to take my books back.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to item 7 on our agenda, public comment, which is restricted to 3 minutes regarding items on the agenda. If you choose to address the public, please state your name and address for the record. And with that, we'll open up public comment at 7:15 p.m. Do we have,
I have one person online.
okay.
I have no hands.
For those that are connected online, if you choose to or would like to address the public, you can raise your hand electronically, and I'll give you a moment to be able to do that. We do have some public here, but I'm not seeing indications that you're wanting to speak at this time.
No, I have questions, but this isn't, I mean, I just need to know who I go to talk with the questions I have.
Okay. Well, we should deal with that after. Yeah. So let the record show nobody in person coming forward, and still nobody remotely indicating desire to speak. Public comment going once, twice. We do have extended public comment at the end of the meeting, or near the end. We will close public comment at 7:16 p.m. Reports, boards, and comments, appointments. I just have one note there. If anybody else has anything, jump in. But Planning Commission, I was speaking with Trustee Over just before the meeting. The last meeting, you had asked about that. I just got confirmation 1 minute before the meeting that this person will be applying, so we'll see. It'd be nice. We still have an EDA opening. That's a tough one to fill, but please help. And then we have ZBA. I haven't looked at it today. I know there's a ZBA seat. Anything else from anybody on this? Board member reports. I'm excited to start
I didn't
with
write it all
Clerk
down.
Cody.
This election, early voting, we had 505 voters in the 9 days. And then the regular election, we had 2,101 ballots. That's including the AV though. And AV had about 1,000.
That's pretty heavy for
Yeah, for a
primaries.
primary, yes, that's quite a bit. So good turnout.
But from your perspective, things went well and
Yes.
good. Good to hear. Trustee Over.
Nothing to report.
Trustee Lay.
I'll have something for you next time, but not today.
Treasurer Rogers.
I have the road commission meeting tomorrow, so I can report next time.
Awesome. And I don't believe I have anything to report at this time, so that'll move on to item 10 on the agenda, consent agenda. Happy to entertain motions.
Motion to approve?
Support?
Motion by Cody, support by Over, to approve consent agenda. Do we know who had warrants?
Tim.
Oh, he did.
Trustee
Yeah.
Yes,
Trustee
that's
Lang
right.
was here Monday.
And I remember reading his email now.
And he indicated he didn't see any.
Yep.
Yep.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes unanimously. This brings us to our single business item tonight. I did say earlier it was a light agenda, which is a paving special assessment district, the beginning steps of it. We have a petition, number of signatures, and this will be the first of, I think it's 11 steps. I'll ask the manager to jump in here and describe that briefly.
Yes, thank you. We have a report on this that begins on page 26. There are about 15 steps to create a special assessment district. This is being done under Public Act 188 of 1954. This is the same process that we always use for the subdivision, paving, special assessments. We have received a informal petition from Ms. Ordaway, who's with us tonight, is the lead on this. She has been circulating the informal petition. We have received that. There are, and I'll confirm this again tomorrow and send you out an email, but it appears that about 62% of the residents in this area signed the petition. There are several renters that are in that area, so that might affect the percentages as well. The petition, the informal petition that we have received has been reviewed by the Public Services Department, the Assessing Department. Assessing confirmed that we're over 51%, which is the legal threshold to keep moving this forward. And the next steps, if you approve this preliminary, or I'll call it the informal petition, is that staff then would go out and get updated pricing information from the Road Commission. We would also then create a formal petition that would need to be circulated, and that would, I presume, be by Ms. Ordway. We would also mail out I'll call it a notice, but let the residents know within this district boundary that an informal petition has been presented, it's been accepted, and that the property owner can now be on the lookout for the formal petition to be circulated. Once we have that, then we'll go on to the next steps. The district would include Berkshire Drive, Jonathan Lane, Gentchrist Lane, Honey Bear Lane, Morgan Lane, Jareth Lane, and Ruby Street. It's also known as Country Squire Estates, Country Squire Estates 2, the Snyder subdivision, and it would also include Ruby Street, which is not technically part of those subdivisions, but it is in that same area, so we'd want to do them all. What they're looking to have done is a 1.5-inch overlay on that road network within that subdivision, pending any other discovery that the Road Commission may have when we ask them for some updated pricing. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions. As I said, Ms. Ordway is here tonight also. Ms. Kim Smith, who manages our special assessment processes here as well. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just note little history. I was a trustee years ago. I believe this would be about 2014, give or take a year. Ruby Street at that time was gravel, and the Board of Trustees chose to get that paved. If you're not familiar with the area, there's a lot of through traffic that comes into Ruby and Berkshire, so it gets used pretty heavily. But that's, when you see Ruby on there, the ultra thin overlay is because that road was done about the 14, 15, and so it's in good shape. This would just be a matter of protecting it more. So, questions? I'm always excited for subdivisions that go through this process. It's a long one. The 15 steps you said?
I believe so.
Okay.
This might be step 4.
Since we're starting that in August, and some of those are very public hearings and require proper notifications, et cetera, is this something we feel we can get through this year still?
This would be a 2027 construction.
So the pricing we would get from the County Road Commission would need to be taken into effect, looking forward to next year's pricing a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We normally add, so they'll give me a price based on this year's cost, because I'm gonna ask them for it. If you guys approve it, I'll ask them for it. They'll give me a cost based on this year, and then I usually add like 20% to it just to cover all bases, because once you start this process, if it ends up coming in more, you have to start all over.
Oh, jeez.
But at the end of the process, they only pay what the actual cost were.
Yeah.
And that's, that's information that's put right on the Normally when I send the letter, I also send a copy of the cost estimate that we get from the road commissioner. And that, there's a disclaimer on there about that, so that the people are aware of that.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point is the estimates we've gotten through these, most of the ones I can remember, including my own subdivision, come under
Yeah,
that
they
because
usually
we
come
try
under
to,
it,
we
'cause-
try to buffer that so that we don't have to start that process
Right,
over.
because if you, like I said, if you get through the whole process and then, oh, well, asphalt prices went up 30% or whatever, you have to start all over again if they sign for a certain amount and it's gonna be more than that. But if you go a little high, then you can always charge them less. but
Right.
You can't charge them more.
Yeah.
So that's how it ends up working.
Yeah, and if it comes in under, just for clarity, the residents should expect that they're only being charged the actual cost.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing on this? Happy to entertain
It was-
motions.
I move to approve, sorry?
I was gonna say, it was really, really well laid out in the packet,
Oh,
so.
absolutely. Move to approve to prepare preliminary project cost estimates and develop the formal petition for the establishment of a paving special assessment district for County Square Estates subdivision, County Square Estates number 2 subdivision, Snyder subdivision, and Ruby Street.
Support.
Oh, you go ahead.
Motion by Rogers. Support, I heard
Just put Lay.
Lay second, first. I heard you first.
Okay.
Everybody understands the
It was
motion?
a tie.
Any further discussion on this? I'll just add that whenever you've got over 51%, it's very democracy alike that the neighbors are deciding they want to take this on. And I don't know how I could ever stand in the way of that. So I'm certainly in support. Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor of approving this first step in this formal petition for establishing a paving special assessment district, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Step 2. Let's see, with that takes us to extended public comment, which I alluded to before. It is restricted to 5 minutes regarding any issue. If you choose to address the public, please state your name and address for the record. And with that, we'll open up extended public comment at 7:28 PM. Only if you'd like to.
I just wanted to, my name's Lois Terrix, and I'm from Berkshire, 5125 Berkshire. Been a resident since that subdivision or neighborhood opened up, and in fact, it was 43 years ago, August of 1993. So it's 43 years old, time to get some new roads in there. They've had a lot of traffic up and down with people move, you know, when they first moved in with their housing, things have moved out. I hope that the infrastructure, I'm not sure where you're going with all this. Have you described what you're going to do with the road? I mean, is it gonna have curbs and you know, what, no curbless? It's just gonna be the pavement, asphalt?
That's what I understand, correct, yeah.
Okay, is that going to be through a grant, or where's that funding coming from?
Through a special assessment district, it comes from the residents in the special assessment district.
Okay. How come we wouldn't write some grants so we can get some curbing in there and get those ditches filled in? No, that's not well, it would be nice, because I think over the years, Isabella, the County Road Commission has been very supportive in making sure the road's been plowed. I think a lot of it needs to be done. Just because I think it's caused some of the drainage problems in there. When that pavement's so thin, I mean, they're just digging up, it seems, constantly, people, whether it's sewer or drainage. I do feel that the whatever you put asphalt and refine it, because I think it would save the county some money too, having to come out there. Now it must be 4 or 5 times a year that they gotta come out and fill all the potholes. And I think it would help on passengers, our cars and tires and so on. So I guess that's what we're looking at, is really a preventative safety conditions. And the County Road Commission's always been very, are you from the county?
No, I work for Union Township.
Okay. Anyway, they've been very supportive over the years, and I hope that, what, you have to network with them, is that what this, okay. Okay, and I would hope that, I'm gonna throw in if we can get a speed limit in there pretty soon too. It's getting very crazy out there with the, people going 60 miles an hour in a residential area is not safe. Somebody's gonna get hurt at some point, so. And I'd like to thank Rita for initiating and taking all this time to, put this program all this. She's been a real trooper in navigating it, and like she said, we all want to be proud of how great our neighborhood looks. And that's, if I wanted to sell my house right now with that road the way it is, I think that would be a negative. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let the record note that we do still have some people, at least one, connected remotely. And I'll just remind again, if you want to address the public remotely, raise your digital hand and you'll be recognized. But seeing no one else coming forward and no electronic hands being raised, we'll close extended public comment at 7:32 p.m. That brings us to manager comments. Mr. Stuhldreher.
Thank you, and I just have a couple things I'll bring up. First is, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
To see you. We're all looking very forward to the employee appreciation lunch that the board is putting on this Friday. I look forward to seeing you all and our fellow employees at McDonald Park Pavilion. The Clean Water State Revolving Fund project at the wastewater plant, that bond is scheduled to close. That closing is scheduled for August 27th. And so that'll be a big milestone in this whole thing. Just to refresh, it's a reimbursement type of borrowing. We do work, we pay the vendor does, the contractor does work, we pay the contractor, and we submit a reimbursement request from the state, and they pay us with what amounts to the bond proceeds. And so there'll be, at the end of the day, a maturity schedule that, because we're not borrowing all the money all up at front. So we're not going to pay interest on the money until we actually have received it based on draws. So that's coming up the end of this month. On the 2nd of September, and I think this is firm, we're looking at the ribbon cutting for the fitness court at Jamison Park. That'll be September 2nd. I believe that's at 11 a.m. And then on September 26th, reminder of our cleanup day, that's Saturday morning. I believe that's 8 to 11 a.m. And you can expect the manager's budget recommendation in an electronic form around September 2nd. And then our first meeting in September, which is September 9th, whether it's an agenda item per se or under the presentation, I will then present the budget recommendation at this meeting. So you'll have it a few days before electronically, and then I'll speak about it the following Wednesday. So that is what I have for this evening. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for our manager? That takes us to final board member comment. Treasurer Rogers.
I I have nothing, thank you.
Trustee Lake?
I'm looking forward to the employee appreciation lunch because it's a cool thing for us to just say, here, we want to thank you for all you do. They have our back and appreciate it.
I'm going to second what Treasurer Rogers just said. It's nice from a both trustee standpoint and also from a resident standpoint because you guys make our day-to-day lives much easier.
Yeah, I'll second the second of the first.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it, though?
That's it, though.
Okay.
Yep.
Clerk Cody?
Oh, good, thanks.
I only have one brief comment. I'll second the third or something in those lines. I am excited about Friday. It's a long time overdue. Previous boards have discussed it but never got off the ground with it. So I appreciate all the work that's been done, both by staff and trustees. But my comment, I was traveling to visit my parents. I'm not going to name where because I don't want to pick on them directly. But whenever I travel, I always notice things in other communities that are different than ours, good and bad. But the thing I very often notice is blight. Really stands out. And you go to a beautiful community that has beautiful nature as part of it, and then you have blight that just takes it all away because the blight draws your eye to it instead of looking at the nature. Which is why people moved to where they did in this case. And this township took some initiatives over the past really decade of trying to address blight in the township. And not that we don't have it, but it's very noticeable the difference in our community versus many others that I visit. And so kudos to staff and previous boards to make all that happen over the last decade. And that is the end of our business. So we will adjourn at 7:37 p.m.
Good.
Thank you, everybody.